Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappelville, and welcome back to Camry. Look at this, more Tomb King stuff. This is from Highlands Miniatures. So gonna have some fun with this tonight. Boy, it is so much better than the Tomb Kings Chariots on basically every single level. I mean, not to mention that these two guys are just one piece. Hey, they're Armored Wolf. That is so bizarre with the PayPal thing. That is really, that is just weird. That is really nuts. I'm just trying to, I guess because, well, I'm not, I guess that's a good thing. I haven't tried to use it that way. Now here, let's get the, yeah, Armored Wolf. I definitely want to see that because it's hard to even process. It really is. I mean, all kidding aside, it is difficult to actually process what they're doing there. Now, what we're going to be doing here is the same on the floor. Hey there, Ryan. Nice to see you again. Same deal like we've been doing before. Now let's get our kitty of actually here this is another reason why everything is later, because I was waiting for this video to actually get finalized and posted up to the Patreon page. So this is actually from One Page Rules, starting to get into the bigger based stuff right here. Hopefully I think all this stuff is still just on 50 by 100 mil bases. We're going to keep this pretty darn simple here. Lots of dry brushy stuff. So yeah, remember, I'm just trying to, in my head, just kind of work this thing out. Hopefully it makes a little more sense to me when I see the email and such, because it just seems so bizarre, doesn't it? Hey there, Doji. I was just about to say, I don't think it's that super early for you, because it's just much later here. Definitely a much later start here, so apologize for that. But there should be a brand new video sitting there on the Patreon page for everybody. So just gonna drop in some of this stuff here again, keeping it pretty darn simple when it comes to the basing here. It was I ended up making just a whole new series. Yeah, so that's a whole new series. Rebuilding the old world. Just because, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, is sort of rebuilding some of the old stuff there. So Doji, great to see you. And same thing there, Ryan. Obviously, wait till more folks are in the chat and such to maybe share some of the stuff that you've been doing. I'm gonna actually do this. It's almost gonna be kind of a pinkish color there. Yeah, Doji, hopefully it won't be too crazy of a day at work there. I mean, look at this. Look at this whole rig here. The way they did this, it all fits together very perfect. I haven't had a chance to do too many Highlands miniatures. I have a bunch of them printed out, ironically enough. Really, I do. I have tons of Highland miniatures printed out. I just have not had a chance to really get them all prepped and based. Hey there, Valfera. So yeah, Doji, that's why we're later here this evening. Nice to see you again there, Valfera. Hopefully not too much of the cold stuff going on now. Maybe you've kind of got past that a little bit. But maybe not. Let's see. So the wind chill's -4. So here, well, it's 0 degrees right now. It was -10 last night. There was no snow. Now, Valfair, is that about the amount of snow they were talking about? I think that's about it. I don't think it's, I think you said somewhere between 5 to something inches there, right? So great to see you there, Valfera. Again, appreciate everybody being here, and again, my apologies that it is later, but trying to get that video in was a little bit of a challenge, man. I mean, these things are just so vastly superior to the GW stuff. It's kind of scary, actually. It is really, really scary. And the fact that GW could not manage to do... Oh, and by the way, these Tomb King kits, the old ones, they're 30 years old. So yeah, the Bretonian stuff might say copyright 2003, This stuff says copyright 1993. So to me, that is just, there's kind of no reason for that. Yeah, Valfira, I hope that doesn't make life too difficult for you. I know that getting that stuff shoveled, you're not going to be running out there, because I'm thinking being out there would kind of be like, well, it would be a bit like steers, only with even more likelihood of slipping and falling, right? With all the craziness with ice and stuff, I would imagine there's a little bit of ice going on. The ground probably not being quite frozen, so you probably have kind of a layer of ice underneath that snow, maybe. Hey there, Green Fairy Studios. Again, sorry that there's not a whole lot left of our Happy Monday here. But boy, this is really, I have to say, these Highland miniatures, Tomb Kings, definitely just a massive cut above the old GW junk. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, where was this back in 2014? So yeah, Velfair, I figured that you're not doing a whole lot of shoveling there, right? Just way, way, way too hazardous. Actually, you got more snow than we did, Valfera. We might have, again, gotten 2.5 inches tops combined. I'm just kind of sticking with the whole dry brushy thing for right now. We'll do other things to it, but for right now, this is what we're doing. I'm almost thinking of doing that as an actual color there instead of just the... Yeah, we might just do that. If we don't like it, we can certainly change it very easily, can't we? No, we never did get the stuff back in here. Yeah, sorry about that, Valfera. I didn't mean to surprise and startle there. I'm just imagining it would be like the proverbial cartoon, wouldn't it? I mean, literally airborne Valfera. Now, Valfera, I think maybe your days of, well, you certainly hope that your days of going airborne is those are over with, right? I'm just imagining again the craziness of trying to deal with the shovel and skating across there. Yeah, your Olympic moment has passed, wouldn't you say, Valfera? I mean, I know that that gold medal in skating was definitely a lifelong dream, but I think you'll probably take a pass on that right now. It's been a while since you were last training for that. I think for all of us, yes, we haven't our figure skating, or if you're just going to do speed skating. Actually, Valfair, that would be probably a new sensation, and was it the Paralympics or something like that, featuring canes and figures. Actually, well, it would be a more interesting sport if all of the skaters were out on the rink at the same time, and you could also use the cane like a weapon. So you could actually try to take out the other skaters in addition to using the cane just for mobility. You could try to use it to take out the other skaters as well. Now I wonder if I should get me... Let me see. Well, crazy as this could be, here, let me get a little bit of that yellow into this and we'll see what happens. So just get a little tinting of stuff here. We'll do some glazy things too. So Artemichael says at that point you have hockey, but see, Artemichael, there you have pads and helmets. Yeah, the figure skaters, that would be kind of like Aussie rules football. Yeah, no helmets, no protective gear whatsoever. You're just going out there, taking the hits as they come. So yeah, Landrasta, I can only, I'm just trying to picture how many spools have been chewed up in the course of this project here. Oh, let me do this here. Let's see. So Artemichael might have done a little bit of dentistry in his last game on an opposing player. Now I'm thinking, over here, I would like to go with the alternating blue, and so maybe we might go teal there. We don't usually get a chance to do something like that. Yeah. Now Landress, has there been any more reports of a printing party too late at night that you have been the subject of? So hopefully not. So Borat, there is no base coating with the oils. There's no base. That's why we do things like the pre-glaze or like this, which is sort of acting a bit like the pre-glaze. So yeah, it's not like acrylics where you do base coats and then all this kind of stuff. It's just like this. It's dry brushy stuff, maybe some pin line washes followed by more dry brushy stuff, or where we do the plop and push, where we put maybe a couple of colors down or one color on another, and then we just take that blending brush and push that around, because you're not going to find too many opaque colors outside of the lighter colors there, Borat. So Borat, it's definitely too light of a color, and obviously it's not a super staining color. It has a little bit of an ability, especially if you leave it on there a bit longer, but definitely something more like, say, maybe Van Dyke Brown, maybe Van Dyke Brown mixed with that. But you don't necessarily have to use it as a pre-glaze, because, well, here we've done a whole bunch of these where the pre-glaze was actually Egyptian violet on that. What was our pre-glaze on her over here? That was probably mostly, it's mostly just the kind of Van Dyke Brown on this one right there, because again, there's very little actual flesh tone color, right? Lots of color contrasts in there. Now here again, this one probably was more of a Van Dyke Brown right here, and then the Terra Rosa over it, because Terra Rosa is such an opaque color. That's generally something that you want to be going over the top of instead of start with. Fortunately, it's not a slow drying color, so that is kind of a nice little positive right there. Again, just looking to throw some of this down. We're going to be doing some glazy stuff very soon here. Yeah, and like Artemichael says, even something like an asphaltum could make an interesting pre-glaze too. We've used a little bit of it here in our dry brushy stuff, and again, that's really all this is very much kind of a dry brushy type of a thing. Because with oils, less is more is always way too much. There has been very, 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 very little paint on this brush this whole time. I mean, in some cases, darn near not. Because remember, the oils, they really spread so much easier than acrylics. So everybody, please check out the Pinterest. Oh, hey, Doji, why don't you share your link before you have to head off to work there to some of your fabulous oil-painted stuff. All right, I think now we can start to... Now, I'm going to maybe try... I'll try for the teal here, or maybe something. I don't usually do something like that. That could maybe be interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna go with some teal. We don't usually get a chance to do much of that here, so why don't we see what we can do? Here we are. I don't have cobalt teal bluish. I know that those you would say, where's the cobalt teal bluish? This will just be Prussian blue and some of the phthalo green mixed together here. That's what this is going to be, and it's going to be sort of a glazy thing here. Again, leave a little bit more of that blue into the green. So everybody please check out the link that Doshi posted. And again, see that's more of a glazy type of a thing there. That's why it's got the kind of a bit of a sheen to it. We're going to do that over here too. Now this is more of a Prussian blue here that we're doing, and then I think we might do alternating there as well. But we just kind of been doing some glazy stuff here. Take advantage of what the oils do best. So Scanian, it's been very fun working on again some more Tomb King stuff here. Now these are from Titan Forge. All painted with the oils, exact same process of what we're using on this chariot. That is what we used here on this Basti. This is the Anubis shape, and then of course here is the crocodile. Again, you got three different basically sculpts, right? Crocodile, Basti, and Anubis, but then you have bow, hand weapon, and you also have the great weapon, which here, there's the crocodile with the great weapon. Oh, by the way, they're all one piece. All one piece. Thank you so much, Scanian. Appreciate that. So again, Vet with the Brush, if you want to post anything in the chat, things you've been working on, please go ahead. Now, ease of use here, right? So the chariot was chariot, 2 wheels. The riders were each one piece. Horses each one piece. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 pieces total. With the Tomb Kings Chariot, you're talking 20 pieces, and that's a kit that's 30 years old. This is a brand new thing. So this I think was the November release, maybe from Highlands Miniatures right here. Now this is a tutorial series that I just started. It's about the old world. This is from One Page Rules. Again, that's another 3D print. You can see the same type of basing there, using basing bits from Make It Epic. Again, the texture roller from Green Stuff World. Yeah, Vet with the Brush, please go ahead and do that. Please go ahead. And of course, once Grand Oracle returns, we'll also give Grand Oracle his hype train. We just don't want Grand Oracle to miss out on that. That would be a bit of a shame there. I actually scanning. It's been nice because I've been able to print up terrain at long last. So yes, we are printing terrain now on a bamboo printer, and it is a very, very, very effective machine. Really does a fantastic job. Let me see. I think that goes to here. And then is there another one? Yep, there is. No, we're gonna skip that. Oh, I see. We should have gone the other way with this. No big deal. No problem. We'll go with it like this. Not a problem. Can't really see it anyways. So Borat, you can see here how we've either gone dry brush or something like this, where it is much more of a kind of a liquidy type color. You can see how it's already getting less shiny here. Much less shiny. So there we go. So we go from a chariot to another type of chariot. That is an iron chariot right here. There it is. There's the hype train for Grand Oracle coming right at you. There it is. No rolling for a charge distance there. All aboard that hype train. Thank you so much, Grand Oracle. Appreciate that. Thanks, Grand Oracle. And again, here's Bambi Cam. So it's printing yet another. This is just a new piece I have printed out, when this thing is done, I will easily have a 4x4 table chock full of Harad terrain. Now, the one thing I wish I forgot to take a picture of it. I'll have to send, well, Grand Oracle and everybody, I'll have to send you guys pictures of these hooks that we got when we were last at Menards. And I got those. Well, I'm actually going to mix me some violet with this here. Speaking of which, so here's some of that Egyptian violet borat that we're talking about. Now, it is a Series 5 color, I think, right, Grand Oracle? So it ain't going to be cheap. But it is, we've tested it. You can see some of the color theory and oils videos. Yeah, it's just definitely a cut above the rest, as we say. So thanks so much, Grand Oracle. Appreciate that. You know, I'm going to hit this stuff first before we do all the bones. Let me hit some of this. And we're just trying to get some different colors in here. So that's almost a bit more of a violet. Now I'm going to maybe get some of the Mars black involved. So, well, we do actually have Mars violet. Seriously, somewhere in here we have a Mars violet. Oh, there it is. It's not quite the same though as what I just made there though. So yeah, Grand Oracle, I was able to get these hooks up onto the wall. So finally, all of my mats, they're all in one place. They're hanging off the wall in the basement. They take up zero space, and I can actually see them because where they were, I couldn't actually get to them. I couldn't even get to the darn. They were underneath a table, and another set was underneath Kathy's bed. So there was just no way for me to get at them. So this is definitely better. Again, here, see? Look at this. Watch what happens here. Boom. See that? See how that's going to work right there. Just touching the brush to it. This is how we have minimal amounts of paint. And of course, there's a whole series, right? Our Ossiarch Bone Reaper series. Look at all those different fun colors in there. Doji, I also have some of the big critters for the Ossiarchs there, and that was something that I was really wanting to do, was some of their big guys like the Caractos and what was the other? Oh, the kind of the walking screaming skull catapult. I thought that could be something really fun for us to do. Now the old world stuff, I have to say my focus is going to be on the Bretonnians and the Tomb Kings to start. However, I have a bunch of Skaven stuff. As in the old GW stuff, I also have Skaven STL files. I also have all the Orky stuff and Goblins from Highland Miniatures. Again, this is from Highlands Miniatures right here. Night Whisper, I'm glad that you made some progress there. And again, I think you already shared it, right? But if you wanted to share it again, Night Whisper, I know we had almost a back-to-back raid there. So yes, if you would like to share that, that would be fine. You know what? I'm going to switch over this right here. I'm going to switch this to a blue, because I've never had a chance to do this. Never had a chance to do something like this here. Okay. That's fine, Night Whisperer. No problem. Not a problem there. Again, I just want to try some different things that we haven't done, see, on our Candice Chariots. And we might have painted one or two Candice Chariots on stream. Maybe just one or two. So hopefully everyone has recovered from a spate of hideous NFL playoff games, because this is also a sports channel here. With the exception of one game, and even that was kind of borderline, it seemed like a whole bunch of teams had no interest in being in the playoffs. Surprising lack of effort all around. We wanna make sure that we put in maximum effort here without having to put in a lot of effort. That's what the oils are good at. See, if the NFL used more oil paints, they'd be able to get much better results, much quicker with much less effort. Yeah, Doji, like I was saying earlier, the Tomb Kings figures here. We'll also why don't we show those old Tomb Kings figures again? 30-year-old miniatures. This was our original army from 2014, and this is kind of what we're trying to redo here. So there's the old Tomb Kings. Then that's most of the army. It's actually not necessarily 100% of it. It's not all the terrain that I made either. Oh look, a chariot. There you go. So these are my Zinch tainted Tomb Kings, almost entirely scratch built or heavily converted. Oh look at that. There's a War Sphinx. I'm also they do make a Necro Sphinx, by the way, Grand Oracle. That would be one-page rules. I'm going to see if I can get that file right there. And then all of this stuff was scratch sculpted. Those Sphinxes, the birdies. Oh, I'll get the one-page rules birdies. Then we've got the Hyro Titan that was scratch sculpted on the left, the Colossus on the right, and all of those hieroglyphs on the back wall that actually does tell the story of the Silver Pharaoh. Now I'm going to try and make those bases again. You can see them right there. That is not something that I can 3D print. That is something that I'm going to have to sculpt again. So yes, we will be doing some actual scratch sculpting there. You know, I think I'm going to go more with the Prussian blue on this. Yeah, I'm going to just go here. We'll just go with the red here on this. Why not? And I'm actually going to go alternating. This will solve this problem here too. Okay. I never actually... Where the heck is that Colossus? I don't even know where he is. I think he's on the kitchen table now, actually. The one that we painted in the last stream. Everybody, please check out the link that Night Whisper just posted. Again, please give Night Whisper a follow as well if you could. So Night Whisper, I'm sure that was glorious. Well, Doji, now of course, obviously, Lethal Shadows is located here in the States, but I wonder if maybe check out Etsy and see if there are some shops that are, you know, obviously near enough to you to make it maybe viable. Because obviously, before I started printing the terrain myself, I was getting the Etsy stuff. You know what? No, we won't do that there. We won't do that here. We'll keep going with that. I think we'll leave the Scarab, the color that he is. Here's a place where we can go with our red. Right there. So Vet with the Brush, thank you so much for being here as always. Everybody again, please give Vet with a Brush a follow. So Vet with the Brush, hopefully, hopefully we do get to see it at Adepticon, of course. That would be fantastic. Alright, we'll do that. And I think we're going to do a little bit more of our glazy stuff over here too. On some of this. Right here, some of these things. Hey, Solitaire! Nice to see you back. Now, of course, again, less is more, and more is always way too much. But one way, this is chapter 1 of the Book of Wappel right here. If a color goes somewhere, it must go everywhere. And that's kind of what we've done here, right? Whether it's the pre-glaze or whether it's this kind of initial dry brush like we did here, it kind of helped to make sure that there was a little bit of a certain color everywhere. Now, we're also going to try and see this really intense turquoise here. That's going to end up being sort of a bit of a greenish color in sort of those shadow areas. Also, too, things must be messy before they can be neat. Yes, they must be messy first. Remember, we were just doing some nasty old dry brushing. Even here, it's just kind of very indirect, kind of glazy type stuff, right? And of course, well, you really you don't want to dwell on things too long. You want to think less and you want to do more. Always do more, because Theory Hammer doesn't work any better with painting than it does with dice rolls. Ah, that's right. That is right. Well, actually, yeah, hopefully that's going to work out just fine for you. I think it will. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to go... I'll do the blue over here. We'll do it this way. So again, the old Tomb Kings army, that was a Tzeentch tainted army. I just started a new painting series on my Patreon page, and that is all about basically old world type stuff. So that's why we got Tomb Kings. Now, all of those orcs from Highland Miniatures, those are very much your classic orcs, goblins, and such. So that'll be all about the square basing, because everything else that we've done has been more along the lines of the Age of Sigmar type basing. And now that we officially have not just one-page rule square basing, but also GW doing that. And this makes a big difference here, right? And you can see again, minimal amounts of paint here. Less is more, more is way too much. That is also part of the Book of Wappel. And even some of the color that's underneath, that's actually mixing into our blue a little bit there as I do this. Gonna get some of that over here. One more round of it over there too. Okay, so I think we've got that pretty much in place. Now let's start to get back to some of our glazy stuff here. Now let me see if we can take here again. That's a bit of our phthalo greens. Some of our we'll use this. We'll use that. I might have to put some more phthalo green out there, but now we're talking about the look at that. See how that almost looks dry? That means it is set. And oh look, we're going to do some more dry brushing again. We're going to do some more dry brushing. We're just going to let what's there mix with what's on the brush. See how easy it makes that? Now it's going to be in Buffalo. It's not like the chiefs aren't, the chefs are not unused to cold weather. That won't be it. But it will be interesting to see if Buffalo is going to have another one of those snow globe games. And obviously that might favor a team that can rush the ball there. Now here I'm going to do the same over here again. That's a little bit of the turquoise. Mostly just dry brushing this on there. It happens quick. Don't blink. Don't blink. It's going to happen fast. Even over here. See, that's where we did all that kind of glazy stuff. Do you see any layers here? Hashtag no layers. I took the same color, one color, plopped it on here and let all of the stuff that's already there do all the mixing. So yeah, I do believe in the last 2 seasons he's got 41 turnovers, but delete, none of that stuff means anything, right, unless it's the playoffs. Just like the Cowboys. Rest in peace, Cowboys. Because, again, regular season stuff, you kind of toss all that out for the playoffs. Again, another one of those teams that had very little interest in actually playing in the playoffs. Fine, I'm going to throw a little bit more of this Lighter blue here, and then again, blending brush time here. Let me see if we can use this. Soften this up. So again, we plop that on there. And then we do something like this. And again, that just softens that up here. We're going to do the same over here. We just plop that on there, and now we're just going to start pushing that around here. If I can find, there's my blending brush there. Hey, Meth Muffin, how you doing? Happy New Year to it. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Meth Muffin. Appreciate that. Here we go. And bingo. Now here, let's do some of that over here again. Just going to chuck that on there. And then we're going to, where's our blending brush again? Where did you disappear to? There you are. Yeah, Arturos, definitely please share your Instagram if you could. Again, everybody please give Arturos a follow. So see that? We just a little tap, tap, tap there, right? That is all that it takes. Now that's a bit of our turquoise there. Let's see if we can start to do some of our... yeah, let's get to some of our Prussian blue here. Prussian blue, some of our fast matte white in here. A little more of the Prussian blue, maybe. Something like this here. So everybody please check out the Instagram link that Arturos posted. Arturos, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope that the new year has been treating you very well. Here, let me bring that over here.
So say we all.
Something just like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Arid. Arturos gets a gift sub courtesy of Arid Ken Wife. Arid, I don't know if you shared your Pinterest links there yet, but if you want to share those, please go ahead. And again, sorry about the dishwasher thing. Sorry about the dishwasher. Here, we'll do some more of that. I know we were so happy that, you know, the new house and everything, right? And then a few too many Easter eggs emerged. Can't just getting some of this blue in here. Doing the same dry brushy thing. Look at this. Again, just boom. And we let it mix with what's already there. We can even do it on these guys here. So that kind of shifts them away from the green, from the turquoise. We could even do some, we could do some kind of freehand there if we wanted. I think at this early stage, I haven't really kind of figured out what we would like to do for that anyways. You know what, I think I'm going to switch this to something like that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Arid, and please everybody check out the link that Arid Ken Wife posted. Alright. Okay, good to go there. Now let's maybe give some of this stuff a rest. Let's start trying to do some lighter stuff on our bones here. Let's do that. We'll have to get ourselves some more fast matte white out there, I guess. Well, that's got kind of a greenish vibe to it right there. I'm gonna, well, here, let's throw a little bit of our radiant violet in there. And let's see what this is going to do. Yeah, looking for a little bit of light here and there. Not necessarily on every last little surface, of course. Man, these, I gotta say, these are so vastly superior to the GW stuff. My goodness. It's not just the ease of putting them together. It's just that they look so much better. They're actually less fragile than the GW Chariots, really, even though the GW stuff is plastic and this is resin. It's steel is, to me, much more solid because we don't have a whole bunch of different pieces all together, right? It's all more one piece. So to me, that just kind of makes it a bit more stable. Again, have you seen me go back to the palette for any color at all? Yet we're getting all kinds of different colors here. Why is that happening? Because we have all this, this wet paint here, and it's all just mixing. Of course, as always, you can't go bonkers and have too much paint on the brush. That's when things are going to start piling up, and it's going to be really difficult to get any additional applications on there. Yeah, Landrest. The one thing, well, with the printing goes ever on figures, I tend to always break those, Landrest. But these are more solid because, again, they're, the chariot here, I didn't have to worry about multiple parts being glued together. It was so much easier. Now, sometimes, Landrest, those standard bears, you got a big giant standard and a tiny little spindly hand holding a tiny little spindly pole. Landrest, I guess the only way we can really solidify that is to just use a piece of, well, either brass rod or a paper clip or something like that, right? I think that's about the only way we'll ever get those really secured. So Landrest, it's been pretty wild to see that massive piece of terrain starting to come together. And it is a massive piece, right? Now, believe it or not, if you were to take all of the Harad stuff that I've printed, it's at least the same size as that. There's been quite a bit of that printed out, actually. Get a little bit more on my stuff. We'll gotta get some bluishness and such to these spears. Looks like it's all spears. Yeah, it's mostly spears here. Hey there, Bithron. So Bithron, that's been looking really good. If you want to share anything in the chat, please go ahead. As we welcome in Hobby Time with Tim. How you doing there, Tim? Great to see you. Everybody, please give Hobby Time with Tim a follow if you could. So, Tim, I hope that the new year treats you well. I hope that the new year treats you well. And, of course, if you want to share anything in the chat, stuff that you've been working on, please go ahead. Where's my blending brush here? Even though it has a little bit of the green on there, I don't care. We're just going to We're going to do a little bit of tap, tap, tap right there. So, everybody, please check out the Instagram link that Bithron just shared. This is a 3D print from Highlands Miniatures. This is not a GW figure. This is a 3D printed mini from Highlands Miniatures with the base that we also made from using the Green Stuff World texture rollers. So Tim, again, I hope that you had yourself a fabulous stream there. You want to share anything in the chat, maybe stuff you've been working on, please go ahead and do that too. We're just 1 hour and 11 minutes in. 1 hour and 11 minutes ago, this looked just like this right there. So that's all it's taken, a little over an hour. Using the traditional oil paints, and of course we've had these fantastic guys here. We've painted 7 of these already. These are from Titan Forge. That's their January release. So there are also the crocodiles here. We got a couple of the crocs painted. What's nifty is you get 3 different poses. You get crocs, Anubis, and the Basti, and you get 3 different weapons. The great weapon, bows, and then hand weapons. So it's really, really nifty. So here's the kitty, right, with great weapon and with bow right here. There. So fab. Those again are from Titan Forge. Really fun stuff. Now, hobby time with Tim. Well, we took of that hour, we took about 30 minutes of it to do hype trains and talk about the Tomb Kings of Susenes and all of the disappointing performances in the playoffs. Yeah, so we did a little side trip there. So hobby time with Tim. Hopefully, let's see, I don't think you're doing LVO, but you were wanting to get to Adepticon, right? Hobby time with Tim. So hopefully you'll be able to. Well, if you're looking to get to LVO and Adepticon, that's great too. The more, the better, right? I'm just trying to lighten this up a smidge more here, and this is not the lightest light we can do. We can certainly go lighter than this. Here, let's get our skelly friend a few more lights here, and that again, let that mix. We'll let that mix here with all this. Remember all the glazy stuff that we did? That was the whole point of that. So now as we do this, there's something for it to mix into. No problem there, hobby time with Tim. I know it's a long distance away. It's the same thing in reverse here, right? For ReaperCon, it's well, the proverbial bridge too far. It's the distance just a little bit too much, unfortunately. Here, let's throw some more of our lighter stuff here. We can definitely go lighter than this. We can certainly go lighter, but we're not going to do that not just yet. I chuck me some of this lighter stuff on here. Once again, grab the blending brush over here and see that weird crazy edge on there. We're going to do a little tap, tap, tap. That's all blended. Same over here, same over there, and over there. Can't make it much more easy than that, can ya? Very hard too. Hobby time with Tim. It's really not too big. It's maybe 8,000 people, and it's also divided within 2 hotels. So I don't know if it's really super different from ReaperCon as far as kind of the density, I guess you would say. Now there's going to be some events that will have more density than others, but who knows? Maybe those are also events that you're not super interested in. That would be very fun there, hobby time with Tim, for sure. And I hope that the new year has been at least somewhat mellow for you. I know for a lot of us here, the new year has kind of been a lot like the old one. Now, let me see if I can zoom in a little closer for you here on some of these things. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this, and let's again start putting in some more of our light here. Yeah, let's separate that bone from this. We also have some more of the bone over here, but let's not lose all that nifty dark that we were able to get in there. Alright, let's not lose that. You can see we still have some of the kind of the yellowish color there in some of the bone. And of course here we're doing as much of the dry brushy stuff as we can. So that's definitely for sure. I can understand that. Well, conventions, one thing they never are is cheap, right? Hobby time with Tim. There might be some less expensive than others, but there's really no such thing as a cheap convention. Maybe there used to be back in the day, but not really anymore, it seems, right? Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this, hit that. We're going to do some of that over here. Just taking that blending brush, letting it do its thing. Again, some more of our bones over here. We'll again have to come back into some of this. We can always do more of a glazy thing. It's not like we can, oh, one glaze and that's it. No, we can come back and do some more. All right, well, hobby time with Tim. You have yourself a good one. Take care. Wishing you all the best. And everybody, please, again, give hobby time with Tim a follow. Again, still not our lightest light here yet. We can still go lighter than this. Other advantage, of course, of the oils is that we can do more of this. We don't have to do the sub-assembly stuff quite so much, because the oils are really good at getting into those the areas, kind of deep crevices with all of the pin line wash stuff. Actually, Landdress, well, I have to tell you, remind me after the stream to tell you about someone who tried the new the acrylic stuff that's supposed to be like oils. Yeah, I'll have to tell you a little story about how that worked out for somebody. Spoiler alert, they weren't super enthused about it, which you and I would be totally shocked to hear that, right? So yeah, that who would have thought oils do what oils do, and acrylics do what acrylics do? And that's just kind of, well, that's physics for you. That would be physics. Yeah, Landrast didn't quite work out the way he was hoping. And of course, color the both of us shocked, right? Again, I'm going to take that blending brush to it right there. Let's pop these guys a little bit more right here. I guess as I do this part, all I keep thinking is all the mold lines. Wow, that were on the GW horses, of course, 3D printed here, so no mold lines. And again, no layers, right? We're letting all that stuff mix together. And let's see, well, 1 hour, 20 minutes in. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Again, if you want to spend 100 hours on one chariot, you can. The nice thing is that the oils kind of get you to a place where you have a lot of your basic stuff in, like your ground level stuff, which means that from there you just kind of, everything is, so you'll be able to spend more time on detail stuff, which I think most folks would really like that. Now let me work in put more light there, and then here I'm just gonna head on over to my brush, but we're gonna lighten this up like so. We're gonna lighten this up even more. That's what is that? Oh, that's our radiant blue there, actually. Yeah, Landdress, that's just one of those. Well, again, Landdress, they don't have your marketing expertise. It's not everybody that can come up with blank canvas miniatures. You know, the concept, the name, that's not everybody has those marketing skills. And that it can be painfully obvious sometimes when folks are not that adept with the marketing. Now I'm going to try and get me a little bit more of that right there. Again, hashtag no layers. Watch this. Yeah, we're just going to take that and we'll just tap, tap, tap there. And, yeah, no fuss, no muss, right? Yeah, Grand Oracle, that definitely is something that could happen, right? That it's, I've certainly seen it. Here, we'll take our blending brush to that. Again, And how many seconds does that take? Besides, not many. Very, very little time to do that. Yeah, Landrast, it was curious to say the least, right? Now, I might still come back with some of my darker Prussian blue on this here. So don't be surprised if we do that. Go and get me some of that over here. Also here. Also here. It's all just a bunch of dry brushy stuff. And again, the fun thing is we could do another... we could hit it again with some more glazy stuff too if we want. And then more dry brushy stuff. Now at once, of course. Well, AD, the old plop and push, right? It's kind of hard to beat it. It's and it works especially the larger, more open surfaces. So let's say you're doing vehicles, busts, whatever, or large creatures, large figures. It's very, very handy. Now let me see. I'm gonna get me some more of my fast matte white out here. Oh, and by the way, the new container came in. The label is still just like the old one, so I'm not sure what the image was on Dick Blake. And hopefully they still got that sale going on, because I have not had a chance to get any of the paints there. And there's definitely at least some backup things that we gotta get. Now we'll try some of this and our phthalo green. Let me see if we can lighten up some of the... minus that piece of fuzz on the brush there. And again, we're going to try and lighten this up here. Right along there. Blending brush again. Hashtag no layers. Right, hashtag no layers. We lighten that, we lighten these. Yeah, let's lighten this a little more too. Is that as... no, that's actually not as light as it can go just yet. Blending brush once again. What's going on with this stuff here? Might throw a little bit of that, and maybe some of that here too. On these spear points. Then we'll hit them with some of our indigo. Yeah, we'll get some indigo on those. Darken those back up again. I'll let this mix with the red actually, just to turn that a bit more of a magenta. There. Now I want to take some of our... it's our Hansa yellow there. And again, that's just going to mix with what's already here. Same with our gold there, same over here. Whoops, not that much fast matte white, holy smokes. That little bit of our Indian yellow here. Again, get rid of the fuzz on the brush, and once again we're gonna drop down some decent lights on this. Changes this up right quick, doesn't it? A little bit of a different look to that. Oh, I'm gonna get that crowd. I was wondering what in the world was up in the corner of the screen there. So Grand Oracle, it was fun doing that video there with the new, not Tomb Kings, Tomb Kings. Certainly, again, looking forward to doing more of the kind of recreating the old world style videos. You know what? I'm going to get me some light on this. We have a lot of dark here now, which is fine, no big deal, but I think we need to find a little bit of light right here, or mid-tone. We're also going to welcome in the Bolted Brush. How you doing there, Bolted Brush? Everybody please give Bolted Brush a follow if you could. So Bolted Brush, I hope that your new year has been very good for you so far. Hopefully very, very nice. We are still working with the oil paints as usual here. Got some fantastic 3D printed miniatures. These are from Highland Miniatures. Mike Wall, how you doing? An odds maker, nice to see you. Well, there was a little bit of odds breaking in the playoffs so far. Now, we've been doing a whole bunch of Tomb Kingsy type stuff. Now, this is from Highland Miniatures, our last several streams. We've been working on figures from Titan Forge here. So these Ushabti, really having a blast with those. Again, also 3D printed. I think we've done 7 of those so far. Bolted Brush, if you want to share anything in the chat, please go ahead and do so. Now, 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 48 seconds ago, this was just this dark brown primer. So all of this so far in less than 90 minutes. Less than 90 minutes. Again, here's more of the fantastic. Again, these are again from Titan Forge right here, all painted with the oil paints. There's 3 different forms of Ushabti. You've got Crocodile, the Basti, and the Anubis, and then you've got Bow, Hand Weapon, and then Great Weapon. So 3 different sculpts, if you want to call it that, and then 3 different weapon option for each sculpt. Now, thank you so much, Mike. We'll appreciate that. So again, just having some fun here with the oils, just again doing our thing with the blending brush here, right? So Bolter Brush, if you wanted to share anything in the chat one more time, but maybe before you head out, please go ahead if you want to do that. But everybody, please give Bolter Brush a follow if you could. And of course, thank you so much for the raid. So again, we're just working in some of our lighter tones here. We're going to start to work on some of the chariot elements here that have some golds in them. And it's essentially just kind of a lighter, dry brush. Now let me actually get a little bit of the floral orange there. I think this is the one we started out with here. Yeah, we started out with this guy right here. That was a couple of weeks ago, I think. Everybody please check out the Instagram link that Bolted Brush posted. And of course, everybody again, give Bolted Brush a follow too. Looky here, see how easy that is. Again, just to, especially here, this is why we don't have to necessarily be doing sub-assemblies, right? Because as you can see, I can reach down in there and have an impact on those areas. See, I kind of tinted that again a little bit more towards that orangey yellow. Here we are. See, we can go lighter, or like this. See, we can go a little bit darker. Now watch what happens over here. You can see that all just sort of blends together there all by itself. It's just doing that. No layers, right? No layers makes it very, very, very easy. Now, that's right. I do have to start getting some of those hobbitses. Speaking of hobbitses, we have to get the new ones. So from the Printing Goes Ever On, right? So they can join all of our other hobbitses like Bilbo Stabbins right here. Those are going to be really hilarious. Again, with umbrellas and golf clubs and shillelaghs and whatever else Printing Goes Ever On made for them. That is really going to be very fun. Thanks for doing that clip there, Bithron. Appreciate that, as always. Sometime, well, and also too, when in doubt, make things darker. Sometimes that's just what you gotta do, is make things darker. Oh, we'll do some of that over here on these things. Let me start thinking about some of our lighter blues on this stuff too. There's our Prussian blue there. We'll let that mix here. A little more Prussian blue in that. So yeah, bits around the modular terrain is really, or the modular boards. Now it's funny, talking about the mats. I'll send you a picture. I just didn't get a chance to shoot a picture of it today, but I finally, they kind of look like meat hooks actually. That these big old hooks that are now, they're kind of drilled into the basement wall late last night, and now all of the mats are hanging off of that because they all have cases. And the nice thing is that they're the fat mats from Table War, so they all have their little labels. So all I have to do is just kind of walk up to it. It's almost like a clothes rack. It's a mat rack. Yeah, and all I have to do is just walk up to that. Go, I need, a desert one, or I need my my water mat for my Armada stuff. Now, for folks that remember, I don't know if Valfera is still around, but Grand Oracle, Landrast, remember that one Basilean ship that they sent me, and most of the parts were missing, like the entire hull? That was the Basilean Abyss. Well, I now have the STL file of that, so I'm going to try and get that printed later tonight after the stream, or tomorrow, whatever, so that maybe we could paint that. Doesn't necessarily have to be an Armada Monday. But yes, I finally have that file now, which means we can actually see that being painted. And get back to my... a little bit of the Indian yellow mix in with that, but let me see what we got here. That would be, Grand Oracle, you have to shoot me a link to that so that I can peruse that and do a little bit of research. Couldn't hurt, right? Not in the Mantic Vault, Landrast. It's, remember when I said they were asking me about doing some of the Halo stuff? I kind of asked them, I said, hey, by the way, you wouldn't happen to have the STO file for the Abyss, would you? And that just came in today. Now, this is not the lightest of our blue here. Don't need that to be, you don't want that to be too light. Actually, I'm going to try and get a little bit of the light on top of that and a little more down here. Still have to try and do that. Obviously, I have to see what the of the regular, resin ships that I have, and see if there's anything that I'm actually really missing. Obviously, can never hurt to have more than just the one of one ship, right? So that we could try to do some different color schemes, etc., etc. Here, let me take some of that out of here and again do some more of our blending here. So yeah, Landers. At some point, I'll definitely have to try and get some of the other files. I'm not sure if I don't have all of the dwarf stuff or all the lizard stuff. Well, salamanders, I guess I should say. Also not sure about the night haunts. Is that what they are? I don't know if I have all of their stuff. You know, I'm gonna go a little. Yeah, let me just grab this. Like I said, it's not the lightest blue again. And then we'll have to hit our golds here too. They're kind of in the same way here. So let's get that, and we certainly need that across the top here. We need to think about a little bit of the blue reflecting in some areas on that scarab that's over there. So Landris, they basically have everybody now, right? They're all of the different factions are now made into STLs. I think after this, I'm gonna dive into some of the reds. Yeah, we'll dive into the reds, then mess with the golds again. Yeah, let's play with the reds here. Let's do that. I'm gonna, you know what, let's stick with more of the magenta type of red here. Not so much with the naphthol. So it's the perline red mixed with our fast matte for the most part here. Also got to break that down. Remember, the perline red is super translucent. As we add something like the fast matte or one of the radiant colors, that starts to make it more opaque. Yeah, Grand Oracle, they are, especially things like the orc ships, well, the earlier ships. Anything that has the jib is going to be way easier to deal with in the printed format, wouldn't you say, Landrast? Because I know that one orc ship is. This is actually up on the YouTube channel now. Where did you go? There you are. So this is one of those 3D printed ones, and boy, was it a million times easier. Now the thing is, they don't have the little piece of MDF to it, so that's well, I can just use see that's my plastic card base there. I can do the same thing for that, I suppose. Yeah, Arctic Turtle. It's so much easier. Oh my gosh, especially I think maybe even for the little stuff. Like these guys right here, it would be a heck of a lot easier to deal with those two. Okay, working in some of this lighter red. It's more of a kind of a mid-range. It's not really a highlight red or anything like that. I'm going to try and work in some of that here. Over there. Oh, okay, that's actually not a straight up shot. We'll have to get into our blue there again. Okay, good to know. Didn't see that at first. So enough with the red. Now I'm going to start to, I think, play around with some of our golds here one more time. Now let me take some of the fluoro yellow here, some of the Indian yellow. Very translucent. Do I have... Okay, I do have some of the fast matte white over here. That's good. Just going to try and break that down a little bit more here. Here, let me get a paper towel out here. Just so much stuff on this brush. Get rid of some of it there. That is more like it here. And that should make these a little more interesting too. We'll come back to these with some of our some of our greens as well. Because, you know, gonna have some greens in our golds to... Because that would be kind of reflecting all the other, the bluish light, some of the other surfaces can't all just be yellowish orange. It ends up not really looking like gold. It ends up looking like Imperial Fists. Imperial Fist Tomb Kings, again, not quite what we're looking for. Yeah, I'm going to get me some of that light over here too. And over here. Here, let's do some more of our lighter gold right along this line here. Really starts to separate now. See that from some of the red, some of the blue. Patience. Don't be hasty, little hobbitses. Don't be hasty. And again, don't really have to do the whole sub-assembly stuff here. Alright, we can reach in there pretty well. Again, with our smaller brushes, and since the oil paints allow us to do a lot of that sort of blind mixing here, or blind blending, you don't have to worry about being able to do one layer after another layer after another layer. Hashtag no layers. Do I want to? Yeah, we'll keep going here. A little bit later down there. And this, do I want to make that more of a gold? I don't know. This can, of course, still be lighter here. Now we'll do the same thing over on this side. Also, to remember, not too much of the thinner. We certainly don't want this to end up as a pin line wash. Now that went too wide. So I'm just gonna grab the blending brush and just smooth some of that out there. Gotta try and catch both of these edges here. And if one turns a little bit of turquoise, that's fine, because, well, it's right next to turquoise. It's supposed to be a reflective surface, so why shouldn't some of the turquoise reflect on that? And then once again, as we do this here, it separates from the red and the blue. Didn't have to, there's no layers there, right? We just put this one color on there, let it mix with everything that was already there. That will make your life a whole lot easier. And then, of course, our turquoise starts to get a little bit darker. Again, everything is relative, right? We need just something to compare it to. And we can still go lighter than this. We can still go lighter than this. I'll get some more of my fast mat over here. Fine. Breaking this down a little bit more, because remember, thin over thick and vice versa. That might be a little too much paint, so I'm actually going to deposit some of that over here just to get rid of some of it. Yeah, I just needed to get rid of some of the paint that was sitting on that brush. There was just a little too much there, I could kind of tell. Yeah, those are the things that start to come to you as you've been working with the oils for a while. I mean, if you've done 2D art with the oils, well, that could be different. Art of Michael, hopefully, well, your Harad stuff goes well, and obviously your massive terrain painting exercise there. Because I know there's a whole bunch of pieces to do. So yeah, Arctic Turtle, I forget exactly when they made them STLs, but that's, again, it's certainly a lot easier to deal with them. Of course, you can print out as big a fleet as you want now, right? Obviously making use of all the STLs, and I suppose you could print them out bigger too. That would be interesting, is to print out some larger ships. Actually, Landress, I'm like, okay, do you print them on the big FDM style printer and just make them monstrous ships? Now, it's not something that I could use for MESBG because, well, there's cannons on them for one thing, but there's just no interior surfaces, not a lot of room on the decks there. Now, Howard Michael picked up a box of terrain, working on a Mumakil's base. Now, Alright, Michael, if you ever want to share any of the stuff that you've been working on for your Lord of the Rings stuff there, go right ahead. And Mithran, I think you got a chance to share what you've been working on too, right? And again, I'm just glad that you're able to have so much fun doing all those profiles, and now some fun doing the modular terrain. Again, nothing fancy here. Essentially just starting to add in. Now wait, so it kind of gives it that extra little bright highlight boost there. Okay, there we are. We need that little bit of a line right there too. Oh, actually, Erda Michael, when I saw that there, I thought you were working on a. Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh, the Bjornings there. When I saw Bear, I thought it was a Bjornings army that you're working at. I don't remember you working on Bjornings. I think I have at least 6 or 7 bears printed out now between Diwali, Printing Goes Ever On, Kerr's Look, I think even Medberry probably. I think probably some others from my mini factory. Actually, Medusa Project sent me one. Yeah, Bithron, well, that project definitely will eat up the glue, won't it? For sure. Just like all of the printing that Landrest and I are doing it's eating up those spools, right, Landrest? Let me see if I can get a little, there we go, just touch a little bit of light on that. Now that's for sure. Yeah, we'll keep going with this. And I'll still keep going with this light. We'll start working maybe on some of the areas of our bone here. And then we'll try and do some stuff in the midtones, try and get some of that grayish green into some places. And again, 1 hour 53 minutes ago, there was no paint on this at all. Yeah, Bithron, I do enjoy the wood glue. I need to get me some more of that actually. Oh, the tight bonds. I didn't realize they have 3 different kinds. There's one that's sort of a stronger hold. There's one that's actually a really quick drying one. I used to have at least 2 or 3 different types of wood glue here from Titebond. Just have to try and snag some of that again. Here again, trying to throw a little bit of our light down in there, just bringing out some of those edges here. Fine, we'll lighten up these guys. It's weird, I keep thinking that this is either Thursday or Friday. Obviously, just like with the bowl season there, with games on all kinds of weird different days, it's definitely throwing off the mental clock there. Yeah, we'll get a little bit of the light on that end. Yeah, let's throw this right here. I guess it's a good thing that LVO is happening now. I just all of a sudden I started to think, oh yeah, LVO happened in the same weekend as the Super Bowl in Vegas. That would be very interesting. Okay, and now we're going to get a little bit more of our lighter stuff on the bottom of the goal. We'll be coming back with some of the orange stuff up towards the top. Probably a mix of the Terra Rosa maybe and maybe the Naphtol Scarlet. Or maybe that and the Indian Yellow. That makes a nice little amber type of color. So Moonlight Minis, this is an STL file from Highland Miniatures, so this is more the Tomb King stuff. It's basically the same proportions as the GW stuff, except infinitely superior. Actually, Moonlight Minis, I was trying to send you a screenshot because I printed out a bunch of the files overnight. I wanted to just send you a picture of the build plate, just a screenshot of the Chidu box thing there. I think I took about at least a half a dozen of them. I don't think they're quite 72 mil, but they're pretty close. Printed out some that were of a larger scale for funsies there. Thank you so much, Dork Depot, for that raid. Appreciate that. So Moonlight Minis, if you want to share any links in the chat there, please go ahead. And same thing there, Dork Depot. Spider Sausage, great to see you. Thanks for joining us here. Everybody, again, please give Moonlight Minis and the Dork Depot a follow if you could. So we are, again, working on some fabulous 3D printed chariots here. These are from Highlands Miniatures. 1 hour and 57 minutes ago, there was no paint on this. In fact, it was basically like this War Sphinx. This is 3D printed from one-page rules. So that's pretty much what this looked like 1 hour 57 minutes ago. So thank you so much, Dork Depot. We've again been painting a lot of Tomb Kings stuff here. These are more 3D printed files. These happen to be from Titan Forge. We've actually done 7 of these already. So everybody please check out the link that Moonlight Minis shared. Actually, Moonlight Minis, they're still on the build plate. I haven't had a chance to take them off, but I'll send you pictures of them later, well, early this morning when I take them off, right? So again, there's more of them. And they've got the Anubis form, the Basti form, and the Crocodile form here. And of course, they come in 3 different weapons. So you got the hand weapons, great weapons, bows. So again, everybody please give Dork Depot a follow. And we're painting these in oil paints like usual. Start to finish. Again, no oil washes or anything like that. No acrylics, just straight up oil paints here. Yeah, Moonlight Minis, I forget which ones exactly, but I was able to get at least 5, maybe 6 of them at the larger size, then some other ones just at regular size. I think I did do, I don't know if it was I think I actually did a larger version of the Darling Creepshow sculpt, just in case, well, like for Adepticon or something. So I could maybe, if I have that one painted, and bring that along. Now let me get some of my darker stuff here. This is just indigo that we're using here. We'll also get some of our Prussian blue into this, but we also need to get the shadow side of all of these here. That also sharpens up the edges too, doesn't it? Yeah, these guys over here. And also, too, again, you can get the STL files from Moonlight Minis, or you can go to their Etsy page and you can have those printed. So you got multiple options there. And Dork Depot, what were you working on during the stream? Again, I know you just finished, so you Really don't have any pictures just now. I know how that goes. But if you have some Instagram, Discord, Facebook links, or whatever, you want to share those, that would be sensational. Hey there, Flying Pin. Nice to see you. Once again, thanks for joining me on the stream here. Appreciate that. Okay, fine. Well, a little bit of that, the deeper blue go in there. Now we also remember we wanted to hit some of that over here. See, there we go. It also sharpens up that edge and creates a little more contrast, and then you can see it just blends in all by itself there. So actually, Lethal Shadows, I have another set of spools coming. The replacement spools there. Obviously that'll be here later this coming week, but just didn't want to be caught running too low on that stuff. So Lethal Shadows, actually, I just to kind of get used to using them, I took one of the replacement spools and one of the, the four things that goes into the top hat, and I wanted to kind of get an idea of how to do that before doing the whole top hat mechanism together. And actually, that's what's been running the last day or two. Is just one of those replacement spools using one of the replacement thing. And I was glad I did it like that, because now I kind of have an idea just how that functions. Obviously, before I do it 4 times on one mechanism there, I thought, let's just do it one time. Let's get used to printing with it like that. So I was glad I did that, and it's been working fine. What's weird, Lethal Shadows, is that those replacement spools, the spool looks all wonky. Like when you get to, what was it, a Hatchbox, right? I was getting those spools. When you take it out of the package, it's all nice and everything's all lined up very nice. Those replacement spools, that it looks all bent and wonky. And I was like, this is really weird. I was all worried I was going to start binding up, like remember the one spool did. That turns out it was totally fine. But yeah, that was a little weird. That is, I'll try and take a picture of it for you so you can see that. Actually, Lethal Shadows, it was interesting. You have to kind of jiggle it a little bit. Let's see. So if you save the spools, they have RV that the AMS can read. Now is that on the cardboard portion? That must be on the cardboard portion then. And that was the other weird thing, Lethal Shadows, was to see that cardboard and that little notch in the cardboard. And I'm thinking, really? That little notch in the cardboard is that's gonna hold this thing? But it seems to. So yeah, Lethal Shadows, I used one of those where you got the 2 sides, right? You have kind of the thicker side, and then you have the thinner side. Got those snapped together. Got them all lined up. What's nice about those is that you have those, I think there's 4 pieces of plastic that are holding it down. Now, of course, you got to remember to get all of them. There was one I almost missed. So again, Moonlight Minis, these are in the top hat. So they're in that 4 spool rig that goes on, well, not necessarily on top of the printer. So yeah, it's not just in isolation. It's that's why I was saying, remember, all of that stuff is going to be used together. The 4 spool top hat, the AMS, all that stuff works together. So here, let's go some more of our light right there. Not too much, right? Because it's going to be casting shadow there. So yeah, Moonlight Minis. We were talking about the replacement spool. That's the cardboard. Hey, Meet the Robot. Nice to see you again. I hope that you're having a fantastic new year. Now, this should be very interesting to see what happens with this when we take away all of our color contrast. Wow, yeah, there's no golds, there's no teal, there's no red, there's no blue. Speaking of red, we gotta get our latest reds and blues down there as well. But yeah, look at the difference that makes, right? Even the difference between some of the bone colors here and the stuff here on the ground. See, as we start to bring that, you can even now start to see that as we get closer and closer to 50%, closer, almost there we go. So now look at the difference again, all that color contrast makes. And that also here with this guy, right, with all the greens, right, and this guy will take those away. Story still has value, but really when you lose those subtle color transitions there, boy, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Here, we'll crank this up again. You can really see again all those greens in the shadows there. So thanks, Meet the Robot. Again, Happy New Year, and I hope that you are doing well. It's funny, Moonlight Minis. I am kind of loath to put the top hat like on top of the printer, which you see in all the pictures. I actually did. I screwed in a little shelf into the wall right above the printer, and I'm hoping I can have it sitting on there. Because while it's nice, obviously having the camera looking in there, right? I kind of prefer being able to just look directly in there from the top down. So yeah, that thing will be, and I've tested it now. I've tested it, and it shouldn't. I was worried that that printer shakes a lot, and obviously the table is screwed into the wall, but fortunately, it doesn't vibrate anything off of the shelf. Meet the Robot, I'm glad that you're able to do some oil painting there. Actually, Meet the Robot, if you have any images of that, maybe an Insta or Facebook link or something you'd want to share with folks. It's always great for people to see the oil painting. Yeah, Meet the Robot, there's generally, eventually there's kind of a miniature that you do, and you just kind of say, you know what, this, something just clicks. And it sometimes happens that way. Did I get the lightest light on time? I'm going to go further here. Okay, with that lightest light. There. No problem, Meet the Robot. Yeah, I know for folks that aren't used to doing that all the time, it takes time. That's always the thing, right? Moonlight Minis, to do all of the social media kind of posting of your stuff that you want to do. That's how do you do that? Plus all the sculpting, plus everything else. That can be a challenge because it takes up a whole bunch of time. Now, I did just do an Instagram of, I think it's actually this kitty. And this kitty's now on the YouTube channel. So you can check him out there. I think we were doing two. We were doing one of the Crocs and him, but it's just him. I think it's about an hour long vid. Because yeah, we took out all the crocodile painting and just left him in there. Yeah, Moonlight and the Etsy, right? And doing the Etsy thing too, and all the, like you say, all the printing and stuff. That's why I just, all day today, I kept looking. Actually, I fired up all the heaters and everything around the printers, thinking I would get that next print started, but that's just gonna have to wait till after the stream. Actually, Moonlight Minis. The other picture I wanted to send you was I took a picture of the thermometer, and I think it was either earlier today or last night. Maybe it was last night. In a case of the colder it gets outside, the warmer it gets by my printing area. Yeah, the thermometer by my printing area read 70, almost 77 degrees. It was almost getting too warm over there. Because again, well, the heater was actually going off all the time because, well, it was 9 below zero outside. So that was actually really, what is it? Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, that plan actually came together. So, and all I had to do was just, well, move the 300-pound table about 5.5 feet to the left. Do some other stuff too. Yes, it's a solid oak drafting table that's got to be at least, if it's not 300 pound. But yes, indeed, instead of it being, oh, in the mid to low 60s, it was mighty darn toasty over there. It's actually, and at times like this, it ends up being one of the warmer locations in the house. The other warm location is here. As I look over and it says it's 75 degrees right where I'm at here in my work area. Because guess what? There's another heat vent right in front of me. It's right underneath the table. When I redid the room in here actually and changed the tables out, I got way more of that heat to come up onto me. So yes, kind of reworked a few things, and that was back in May and June and July. Was hoping that eventually they would play out to my advantage here. Let's get to our blue again. We've been forgetting about this blue over here. Let me see if is this light enough? It is. That is light enough. Haven't really gotten this stuff going yet here. We have the darker blues in there. That's the Prussian blue, of course. We're going to lighten these up like this. A little more. No, again, I don't. There's going to be some craziness over Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm hoping that I can. I'm actually going to go for finishing off the Tyrannid series. I just want to try and finish that one off. Either tomorrow's filming or Wednesday's filming. Kind of depends. It should all be dry. That'll kind of determine if I'm filming that tomorrow or Wednesday. Those Tyrannids were pretty wild, that's for sure. Actually, at Landress, there will come a day where you're going to have to show off, speaking of Tyrannids, your not nids that you did with, of course, all I've been thinking about is your not Helm's Deep that you've been printing out. Let me see if we can get that little bit of light on top of here now. On the blues, on the golds. Maybe a touch more of that down here. I don't think I want to go too light with that, since it is actually in shadow here. Yeah, Landris, well, I mean, you worked really, really, really hard on those, and they really turned out so well. We want to be able to show those off. Nah, that didn't quite go the way we wanted. No big deal. Not a problem. Oh, speaking of which, boy, I don't want to break that down too much. We don't want that to be a pin line wash. No problem there, Landrast. Let's see if we can get all these guys with some of their little bit of light here. Might come back with the dark again and finalize some of that here. Let me. Oh yeah, I can't get much lighter here. No, I don't want to fool around with that edge too much. All right, let me get over here onto this side. So I think Lethal Shadows, Gaming might have stepped away for just a bit. Lethal Shadows will be back. Again, everybody please check out Lethal Shadows Gaming. Actually, they also Lethal Shadows does do their own sculpts, and this is one of them. So we'll try and get that one painted up on stream as well. That's another one. Actually, I gotta get me a large version of that one. Try and print that out at 72 mil or so. You know what? I'm gonna throw a little bit of the light here along. Yeah, we need to just do some of that. I'll let that mix with what's here. Again, that's some of our Mars black, I think. Gonna get me some of that light up here too. What is happening on this? Oh, there's no reflected light down here. So where's that green? That is gonna go down here also. Over there. Maybe a touch more. Right there. Okay. Let me take some of the darker stuff here. I want to take some of the violet here. Indigo violet, no. Van Dyke violet. So Van Dyke violet there. So Van Dyke brown, Egyptian violet mixed together. Nope, need some more thinner into that. It's not quite a pinline wash. Need me some separation on the little chompers right here. Yeah, the other interesting thing, Moonlight Minis, is that, and we talk about sculptors that they do certain things better than others. There's some sculptors that do horses much better than others. And then those same sculptors then will maybe do a face better, or they do cloth better. So each one I could say, well, you know, this guy tends to do much better cloth. It looks much more organic, much more natural. But then the horses tend to sometimes look a little weird. And then some are really good with, say, some of the monsters or whatever, and then others are just better more with more of a human type form. And it's kind of interesting how that goes. Again, each sculptor kind of has, again, the things that they sort of excel with. Which is, well, that's the nifty thing about my mini factory and all those kinds of places, because you can find so much good stuff there. You know what? I'm gonna take this. Yep, there we are. I wonder, I'm going to do something like this here. Let me try. We're going to maybe age this a little bit here. So kind of some of your classic streaking type stuff here. Yeah, a little bit like that. Here, let's do some of that over here. Blending brush again. This is one of those lethal shadows, right? Look how soft that is. So you can see now we've got some of that streaking that's happening there. We've actually done a little bit of that over here too. Remember, we were thinking that we could even maybe take some of that brownish color, work it into there, kind of make these look like they're a little more stained, right? And we might just do that in a whole bunch of different places here. So again, that's kind of the violet and the Van Dyke brown together. And we're just going to try and work in some more darks in certain places here. Now there's there we go. Lethal Shadows has returned. Again, using this essentially as a little micro blending brush here, because it's a super soft brush, works very well for that. This is another area here. I think I might go in with a bit more of my darks here. With all the chariots that I've painted, this is the first time I've ever actually put a color on any of the wheels like this. Pretty sure, yeah, with my old Tomb Kings Chariots, with my Candice Chariots, never once did a color there. I'll darken this up. There we go. And again, Lethal Shadows, if you want to share when your events will be with PAX and ECC, then PAX. Also, too, for everybody that is doing the Las Vegas Open, so if you're at LVO, be sure to see Armored Wolf. And again, since Armored Wolf is legally obligated to never get any sleep, you should go there and order lots of dice bags. Order so many dice bags that Armored Wolf never gets to sleep again. Because, again, there is, you may not have seen that legal document, but I have seen it. He is not allowed to get any sleep whatsoever. Of course, sleep is one of those bits of failed evolutionary dead-endism right there. Let me see if I can. I'm going to get me some of this lighter stuff over here. On this wheel, there we go. It's a little freaky because I just did paint Tomb Kings Chariots. They were for my Candish army, but I'm just painting these wheels. I'm like, wow, these wheels look so familiar. Hey, Das Goomba, how you doing? It's funny, Das Goomba, because I've painted very few dwarves. We've painted these Medberry dwarves, which are actually all in one stream, I believe. Well, no, we did paint another set of these. That's right. So I think we did maybe about 18 dwarves or so, and then of course there was the Hell's Angels Khazad-dûm chapter. Yeah, that was the motorcycle riders right here. These are literally the only dwarves. That's it. The ones that you saw, and then the motorcycle dude there. That's it. So how you doing there, Das Goomba? And of course, Das Goomba, if you want to share anything in the chat, everybody please give Das Goomba a follow. Again, I hope that you're doing very, very well. We've been painting tons of Tomb Kings stuff. We've already done 7 different Ushabti. These are from Titan Forge. The chariot we're working on right now is from Highlands Miniatures. work on a little bit more of a light there. I guess I might have to just come back with more of the dark, because it's there's not really much lighter we can go with this necessarily. So I think if you were to take the 3 dwarf bikers and, well, so about 21 dwarves in what, 4 years of streaming? Something like that. Well, speaking of dwarves, everybody please check out the dwarves that Daskumba posted. And of course, everybody please give Daskumba a follow. So Daskumba, I hope that the new year is treating you as well as possible. Surface tension, actually surface tension, if you wanted to share your Shmoom Kings again, I know you did a little while ago, but if you wanted to share those, I'm telling you, it never ever occurred to me, surface tension. I have no idea why it occurred to me here. I have literally no idea what made me think of doing that. And not all the other times. I mean, seriously, we have painted so many chariot wheels, because we've painted, I think, 11 of the Candice chariots, like the new ones. Where's my old ones? Here. Where are those at? Here's some of the old Candice chariots. Where the heck are they? They gotta be around here somewhere. Odds that we moved them further up. Okay. We moved, there we are. Yeah. Never once thought of doing the wheels. Is there a green chariot? Oh, no green chariot in there. Yeah, surface tension. Now, of course, these are kind of a little bit better designed for that, the way they are. Some of the other ones, maybe not necessarily ideal for something like this, but these kind of were. So everybody please check out the Shmoom King and of course the Shmoom Queen. And that's got to be from One Page Rules, right, surface tension? Well, sorry that you've been kind of nuked by that stuff there, Deskgoomba. It seems like everybody that I know is getting zapped by that. I'm starting to wonder, well, of course, here, obviously, with all the sub-zero temperatures, and I mean sub-zero Fahrenheit, I think there's been a whole lot of people that maybe have not been going to places, so that might take a little bit of bite out of the crud right there. Because again, here, pretty much all day long it was in that 0-degree range, and again, that's not 0 Celsius, that's 0 Fahrenheit. We had -10 last night. I think we had 30, 35 below wind chills, somewhere in that neighborhood. Let me see if I can catch a little bit of the light here on the edges of this. I need me a little piece of paper towel here, just a small piece. Just get rid of some of that thinner that's sitting there. Yeah, Deskgoomba, and people, they're really getting nuked too. It's not just, oh, I've got garden variety cold. I know Kathy's sister, she got zapped by something only just now. Feels better from that. She had fevers and all this other kind of stuff. Let me see. I'm gonna. Yep, that goes a little further this way. Speaking of some reflected light, I'm going to try and get some of that on the blue right here. And also over there. So again, 3 hours and 25 minutes ago, this looked just like this War Sphinx right here. Just dark brown, and that's it. Lethal Shadows, I can't wait to see. You have to just send me some pictures of that, just so that I can ooh and ah over it. But I'm glad that that's, that is very exciting, that's for sure. So Dusk Goomba again, sorry that you got zapped by that a second time. It seems like that's kind of all it does, is just cycle its way through a household or through workplaces. Also seems like people are getting other stuff too that's also pretty funky. Now, let me take some indigo here. Mix that with our Van Dyke Brown. Get some bluish gray on the hooves here, and then we'll come back with our light again. Now, Moonlight Minis, I know Kathy's brother, he had a cough that would not go away for months. It kind of became like this bacterial infection type thing. And yeah, Karen had days and days of fever or something like that. Now I'm thinking it was probably the special instead of the regular, because I guess there was one point she said something about getting her sense of taste back, and that usually indicates one thing. Typically the mysterious disease of completely unknown origin. Thank you so much, Armored Wolf, for posting a link to the GoFundMe campaign. Of course, we appreciate everyone that has. We had a donation earlier today. We appreciate that, of course. So thanks to everybody that has supported us that way too. Oh, you did get your Grand Oil. I was like, did you get your hype train? Yes, you did. Now I remember. Now it's just all of a sudden, because it was literally timed. I think that was a double raid, just as the hype train was supposed to happen. Yeah, Landrist can't possibly imagine, right? It's can't even think. Let's do, there we are. You know, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take some of the asphaltum. I might even add a little bit of perlene red to that. Okay, well, okay, that's gonna be a reddish orange. Can you see this here? Yeah, you can. And that is going to work its way up into here. Oh yeah, definitely over here too. One more little piece there. Now, grab this Lethal Shadows brush here, and we're going to use this as our micro blending brush. Again, a super soft brush like that is ideal for doing something like that. Right there, so we got that little bit of dark in there. That was a crucial little element there. Need to separate that a bit more. Speaking of some of our dark there, you don't just have reflected light, you can have reflected dark, especially on metal. So it makes it so reflective, right? You gotta, if there's something dark right next to it, how in the world does that dark not impact it, and vice versa? You got something really light next to it, or bright color or whatever. How does that not then reflect onto whatever that shiny metal is? Here again, see, we chucked some Terra Rosa out there, and boom, there we go. Yeah, gee whiz, now it's 75.5 degrees here. So yeah, Lethal Shadows, I was just talking about that right before you came in, how that the placement of the table, it was a heck of a lot of work back in July/August, but that has definitely worked out. the way I hoped it would. Let me see if I can, yeah, but here on this tail, get some separation of these pieces, and then we need some of that over here too, I think. And that's not quite a pinline wash, it's close, but no cigar. Maybe separate some of the teeth again. Where's my, a little bit of blending brush. They're going to take some of that dark, push that around. And I'm going to take that over here too. On this wood. I mean, even just this yoke here, the way they did this is just so amazing. Oh, hey, Landrast, I think you heard me saying that those, the old Tomb Kings, it's in that starter box, right? Those are copyright 1993. So yes, when you get the new starter box, you're getting 30-year-old miniatures. So just so people are aware of that. I mean, I know there's some folks that there's like a nostalgia thing. Okay, that's all good. Just be aware for folks that are new that when you get those starter boxes, you are getting 30-year-old miniatures at today's prices, just so you know. And that is why we enjoy the 3D printing stuff, because, well, these are a whole lot newer. So yeah, Landress, remember when I was saying I think they're more like 30 years old? I was right. They are they're not shiny and new, that's for sure. I get no big deal, doesn't matter to me, but I just for folks that maybe aren't aware, you might look at them and say, wow, these are really different than a lot of the miniatures I'm used to. If you haven't done Shmoom Kings before. Now back to my Prussian blue here. That's actually not quite enough of the Prussian blue. There's some indigo worked its way into that. So I'm going to get Prussian blue. We're going to bring that over here, make kind of a mid-tone. Because we never did do the lighter blue on this stuff. We did kind of the mid-tone, some of the dark, but not... Oh, we did it over on this side. That's what I was saying. I could swear I did that on this guy. Now let's go a bit lighter here. Isn't that right, the surface tension? Again, we're not saying, we're just saying, right? And surface tension, this thing here was the two horses, the chariot, two wheels, and the two guys. This was already on here. This was already on here. Nothing to glue on or anything like that. And look at how these reins latch up to this yoke right here. I mean, this, again, as somebody who did many, many different Tomb King Chariots back in the day, this is all kinds of wow by comparison. Did we get... I'm going to try and get a little more of the light down here. A little more of the light down there. I will say that the horses from Titan Forge are very different than what you typically see for Tomb Kings. So they did make them very different. Whereas obviously the Highland miniatures kind of have the game Schmirk Shop vibe to them. Again, a little more reflected light there. We're going to try and do that over here too. Take the blending brush to it again. What about on these? I'm debating taking some of my red, some of the violet here. This is a much deeper, darker red. I'm just going to cut some of that away to make that a little narrower. So these are definitely horsies. Yeah, these are, again, they're closer to the GW kind of aesthetic. But they're definitely horsies. Because that is definitely a horse skeleton for sure. Or a horse, yeah, horse skull. Now the Titan Forge horsies, they're definitely undead, but they're all wrapped up. They're kind of like mummy horses. So that's kind of nifty. I'll try and get those prepped. So we'll certainly have lots of differences in some of our Tomb Kings up, which is fine. That's the whole point of having all the different STO files. So yeah, surface tension. These skelly heads here are so much more like actual horses than the old GW ones. Because you have to sort of take away all the fleshy stuff, right? I'm going to see if I can here, break this down a bit more. We need another edge here. And let's go this way too. Here. Oh, we're going to darken up that edge too. Bit more. Do we need to darken this down up there? Maybe. No, where's that green? Well, that got de-greened right there. Let's re-green that. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can lighten that up just a hair. And that's going to go down in here. So we got 3 hours, 38 minutes. The surface, I just keep thinking that, well, how many? 11, at least 11 of the Tomb King Chariot, or sorry, the Candace Chariots painted on stream. I was wondering why this seemed vaguely familiar, but also different. It's like, oh yeah, because there's actual Tomb Kings in there for a change. I keep waiting to see like an axe in his hand or a bow or something more Candish. And I'm like, why aren't these guys in like a samurai armor? This seems so unusual. You know, I never did get the lighter rib color. Here, let me break this down again. The when we're working with the alkyds here, it's going to set. So, well, I need to get rid of some of that. I could tell that was way too much there. There we go. So surface tension, as I was filming that episode on the War Sphinx there, I was kind of going through my story for my own Tomb Kings army. And one of the things I did at tournaments to kind of, again, to sort of get people to understand what it was all about in a hurry was that I did a little, remember the Durin's book there? Where towards the end of it, right, all the writing gets all kind of scribbly. Well, I did something from an Empire archaeologist who basically, he thought it was all fiction. This whole idea that statues were walking around and that they were two-headed carrion birds with multicolored wings. He thought it was just, soldiers being drunk and trying to show off or whatever. And then he starts talking about these different monsters, and of course, as you see his writing, it gets more and more rushed, and at the end of it, it's just kind of a scroll, and it says, "They are here," and there's just like blood spatters all over the page. So that was really fun. I did like a 4-page piece of fluff there for the army backstory that people actually liked so much they begged me to continue the story. And actually, that's what the whole idea with the Bretonnians were supposed to be. So Tzeentch tainted Bretonnians because obviously questing in the tomb cities of Susenes like they shouldn't have been. And that was supposed to kind of keep that story going. Get some of this green over in here too. It's very much a grayish green. So when you see this, it's going to be like our kitty. When you look at it, you don't really notice that that's kind of a green. Now, I'm going to go back to this is our violet mixed with our black here. To essentially kind of a violet gray. On those reins, just to, again, get a different color going on those. See if we can lighten up our gold. Yeah, I'm actually just going to get me some more fast matte white out here. Why not? Let's get some more of this fast matte white out again. These little guys have been super handy here. And that is from Gamlin, by the way. We're going to take some of that and we'll mix it with some of the Indian yellow here. See if I can't do some more light on our golds. On this little thing on his arm. This too. We're kind of missing some of our lights there. Oops. It's supposed to be blue, not gold. So I'm just going to take the blending brush, and again, there's no mistakes with the oils. Just blending brushes and makeup sponges. Fix that in no time. I still need to mess around with these blues, these lighter blues here a little bit more. Like right there. Another one here. Fine, I'll change that back. Do a little bit of blending there. Let me see if I can get one more level of lighter blue on this here. Just kind of using the radiant blue there. Oh, that's kind of light. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll roll with that for right now. Let's go with our latest light here. So surface tension, let's see, the one-page rules, the carrion birds, the scorpion, the necrosphinx, gotta get that. Kind of thought about the one chariot that's kind of being drawn by those by the jackals. I was kind of thinking about that too.